This is officially the cheapest property strategy in the UK. Lots of people are making thousands of pounds every single month, and it only costs £1,000 to get started. This is a property strategy called deal sourcing. Deal sourcing is a strategy where a deal sourcer goes out and finds, negotiates, and secures property deals for investors or aspiring investors, and they get paid a fee. So here are some of the hundreds of people that have paid me thousands of pounds to go out there, find, negotiate, and secure properties for them. I was struggling to find my first apartment until I found TJ. I had my first apartment within a week. He's a great negotiator, and the support he gave was fantastic. Highly recommended. And that's £2,000 in the bank. Another customer said, I will call TJ a highly talented sourcer. Simply put, he knows his onions. His rich experience in sourcing rent-to-rent serviced accommodation properties is phenomenal. I will recommend him. Another £2,000 in the bank. Another customer said, TJ is the real deal. Amazing properties in great locations with great numbers. TJ helped me through the whole process, and I will certainly be going back to get more service accommodation units in the future. I have hundreds of these, and these range from clients paying me £2,000 to £5,000 to find them deals. There are two types of deal sourcers. There is a specific deal sourcer, and then there's a generic deal sourcer. A generic deal sourcer finds random deals and offers them to various people, and whoever bites first gets the deal. And the deal sourcer makes a small fee, around £2,000 for doing that work. A specific deal sourcer is contracted by a client, could be an investor, could be an aspiring investor, to go out to the marketplace to find very specific property deals. Specific in terms of location, specific in terms of the amount of money the investor's willing to spend. This is niche deal sourcing, and the fees associated with niche deal sourcing tend to be higher than generic deal sourcing. And you need to pick which one of those two you would prefer to start. We look at another review. I was able to earn £6,000 by helping this specific client fulfill her very niche sourcing criteria. And she said, very pleased to recommend TJ. He recently sourced properties for me in Oxford. His personable and confident approach helped me secure this great opportunity. Thank you, TJ. And here's to doing more business with you going forward, Jan. So can you really start earning thousands of pounds from deal sourcing with just £1,000? The answer is yes. Now, of course, it's easier said than done, and you have to understand how the business works. But in this video, I will walk you through what you need to know in order to start earning money as a deal sourcer. And at the end of this video, I will tell you how to spend that £1,000 to become compliant. So if you want to make money as a deal sourcer, you've got to pick an underlying strategy. This means you pick one of the many property strategies out there. So it could be serviced accommodation, it could be HMO, it could be social housing, it could be buy-to-let, it could be BRRR. You pick one of those. Preferably, you pick one that you've done or you have a desire to learn, and that gives you a competitive advantage amongst other deal sourcers because you know and have an understanding of this strategy, which will allow you to stay on top of market trends, regulations, legislations, and build meaningful relationships with estate agents or landlords who have those sorts of properties. So don't make the mistake of being a jack of all trades and you're trying to source every single type of deal. Become an expert in one of, because that really helps when it comes down to building a brand so that customers recognize you and you become the go-to person for finding those sorts of deals. So pick one strategy that you plan to deal source. Number two, you have to become a champion networker, which means you need to go to events, you need to speak to people, you need to build meaningful relationships with people so they recognize you as somebody of value. So when they're thinking about potentially buying a property or starting their property journey, they remember you because you've built a relationship with them, because you are a champion networker. Look, if you want to make any money from deal sourcing at all, if the only thing you learn from this video is you've got to go out there and you've got to build relationships and people need to know your name so that they can come and buy deals from you, and they trust you and they trust your opinion and they trust your experience to find them a suitable deal, whether it's a generic or a specific deal. So who should you network with? So you've got to start networking with estate agents. They hold the key to you making money as a deal sourcer. An estate agent has hundreds and hundreds of property. And if you build a relationship and they like you, they will often call you to say, hey, TJ, I have this specific deal for you. Would you like it? And do you have a client that's willing to buy it? You also need to learn to network with investors or aspiring investors. Now, there are lots of people in the marketplace offering deal sourcing services. What makes you stand out? And the only thing that makes somebody want to work with you is they need to know, like, and trust you. And the only way you can know, like, and trust somebody is to have a meaningful relationship with them. One tip that I would give you in order to get somebody to know, like, and trust you is to become a source of information for them. If someone's aspiring to start their Airbnb journey or their HMO journey, if you're in a position to educate them and enlighten them with regards to what's going on in the market, when they're ready to buy, they will come to you and ask for your expert opinion, and they will also ask you to find them a suitable property. And that's how you make good, consistent money as a deal sourcer. And number 3, you want to be networking and building relationships with property professionals. These are builders, brokers, solicitors. So when you are deal sourcing, you need to have that competitive advantage. And your competitive advantage is often something that your customer or your investor doesn't have. So if you can build good, meaningful relationships with solicitors and brokers, you can add that to the package that you are sourcing for your customer. Deal sourcing is a very competitive market. So it's often those people that are good at negotiating and can get the best possible deals. If you can get the best possible deals for your clients, they will tell other people about you, but more importantly, they will keep coming back to you to buy more deals. And when they buy more deals, you earn more money. When we're talking about developing your skills, this is through practice and taking some level of action. You've got to get to a place where you know how to do a good, honest due diligence on a property. If you get your numbers wrong and you offer that deal to an investor and they notice that your numbers are wrong or incorrect, there's a likely chance they will never work with you. With investors, you usually get one chance because there's so many options. So if you came to me and you said, hey TJ, can you find me a certain property deal? And I got the numbers completely wrong, you're going to look at that deal and you're going to say, well, no, TJ made up these numbers so that he could make his fee and disappear, which then puts the investor in a very tricky and financially costly situation. So you must learn and develop the ability to do due diligence. Number 4, how do you set up your business? So remember that a deal sourcer falls under the same legislation as an estate agent. Effectively, deal sourcers are glorified estate agents. We operate under the same rules, under the same terms, under the same legislation. Estate agents are governed by the 1979 Estate Agency Act. Deal sourcers are also governed under that because the closest definition to a deal sourcer is an estate agent. So just have in the back of your mind, whatever estate agents have to go through, deal sourcers also have to go through. So when setting up your sourcing business, you've got to decide what sort of structure you want to have. Will you be a sole trader? Will you be a limited company? These are decisions that you've got to make. And if you decide to go down the incorporation route of registering your business, it's important to make sure you have the correct SIC code. And the SIC code stands for Standard Industry Classification. And that very specific code is 68310. So under the legal structure, you have to be compliant. Now, the £1,000 to get started is spent on the compliance. And as mentioned earlier, these are things that fall under the Estate Agent Act of 1979. So you need to make sure that you comply with regulations and laws that govern the estate agency and deal sourcing industry. Number 5, this is the fun part. Often the most difficult part, you've got to find a way to make sourcing properties fun because there is a lot of rejection. Think about it logically. How do you persuade an estate agent to allow you to work with them so you can also sell deals to your investor? There is going to be a lot of rejection, but that is the part that makes you money because the vast majority of people will not be able to find these deals, and the vast majority of people might not be able to handle all the rejection associated with finding a deal, and that's what they pay you for. How do you find deals? Build relationships with estate agents. Then you can work on your marketing endeavors. It could be Facebook ads, using LinkedIn, using Instagram. You could do direct marketing campaigns. You could do online advertising. You can go to property auctions, depending on what types of property deals you are sourcing, and you can network. The most important part when it comes down to finding a deal is making sure you understand what makes a good deal. I don't believe you should be selling property deals under strategies that you haven't done or you don't have a full understanding of. So for example, I get a lot of people that offer me serviced accommodation deals. Now they're new off the sourcing conveyor belt and they fail to understand that there are costs associated with running a serviced accommodation business. So when they send me the numbers, hey TJ, here's a deal, it's going to make you £1,000 profit per month, they forget to deduct Booking.com's 15%. They forget to deduct the cost of credit card processing. They forget to deduct the cleaning cost. They forget to deduct linen hire cost. So that £1,000 that they were promising is really about £100 or £200. And if I find out after doing my own due diligence as the investor, and this person's got it completely wrong, then I will never work with that person. So the last part is securing the deal. Now, securing the deal is also quite difficult because you've got to make sure that your investor is serious about buying this property and paying you a fee. And you've also got to manage the relationship with the estate agent or the landlord that you are sourcing the property from. Make sure before you ever source a property for someone, they sign your legal agreement. And that legal agreement binds them or stops them from going behind your back to go and build a relationship with either the estate agent or the landlord and cut you out of the deal. Before you source a property for someone, you've got a copy of their bank statement that shows that they have the money to fund the purchase or the renting of that property. And more importantly, they also have your fee in the bank. And as promised, I did tell you I would tell you how to spend that £1,000 to help you become a deal sourcer. Now that £1,000 goes towards your compliance. Compliance involves registering with the anti-money laundering scheme. Compliance involves registering with the ICO. Compliance involves making sure you have indemnity insurance. And the last bit of compliance that you need is to make sure you register with a property redress scheme. And all of that falls under £1,000. And once you set those things up, you are well on your way to start earning money as a deal sourcer. Hey guys, if you got any value from this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.